Yeah.
Welcome back to the Gridiron Expert, bringing you some of the best college football news, predictions, and analysis. It is time for one of my favorite bowl games, as Michigan State will be taking on Wake Forest in the new era Pinstripe Bowl at Yankee Stadium. It is a phenomenal atmosphere and a phenomenal location for some great college football. And when you look at this game, a major stat that stands out to me is that Wake Forest is making a school record 4th straight bowl appearance. And all the credit in the world to Dave Clawson and what he's doing with this Demon Deacons program. One that struggled for so long. He has built them back up, bringing them to their 4th straight bowl game. And keep in mind, he has won the previous 3 all by 1 possession. Each one of those bowl games, absolute thrillers for the Demon Deacons, but he's getting the job done. He's got Wake Forest at 8-4 coming into this game and a chance to win 9 games in a season for the first time since 2007. On the other hand, you have Michigan State, one of the more disappointing teams in all of college football this season. The same could be said for them last year. They went 7-6 in 2018 with 19 starters back. They were one of the more experienced teams in the country in 2018 and could not get the job done. This year, they're 6-6 and they had 17 starters back. So 2 years in a row, they had so much experience on this team and they just were unable to get the job done. And 2 of those losses came in an upset at home to Arizona State earlier in the season, and then a 28-3 blown lead at home to Illinois. So Mark D'Antonio, I always preach, a guy that you never want to count out, a guy you never want to underestimate, but he is not living up to the expectations in East Lansing. And hopefully for him and for his sake and for the Spartans' sake, they can come up to New York and get a win over a quality ACC opponent. But when you look at Michigan State, the reason they have struggled so much, not just this year but last year as well, is because of their problems on the offensive side of the ball. They averaged just 18.7 points per game last year, and this year they're averaging just 22 points per game. So a slight improvement, but not nearly enough to compete at the high elite Big Ten level and to compete for a college football playoff spot like they did back in 2015. They're giving up 22.7 points per game. So they're actually giving up more points than they're scoring. Another major issue there. And you can't blame the struggles on offense all on one guy, but a major reason the offense is struggling is because of their quarterback. Inconsistent play from Brian Lewerke, who's thrown for over 2,700 yards this season, 16 touchdowns and 12 interceptions, which is an improvement from last year when he threw for just 8 touchdowns and 11 interceptions. But his inconsistent play and inability to be accurate and lead teams on some game-winning drives, or at least just put some points up on the board, has been the issue for Mark D'Antonio these past few years. You know, he's no Kirk Cousins. He's no Connor Cook. And that's something that I think Michigan State kind of got spoiled on a little bit. They came here with Brian Lewerke, and he's been a major reason for these offensive struggles. For Wake Forest, their offense has not struggled over the course of 2019, but they have been battling some injuries, and that could cause some struggles in this Pinstripe Bowl. They lost Sage Surratt a couple of weeks ago. We knew that. One of the best wide receivers for Wake Forest. He's not going to be playing in this bowl game. We knew that way ahead of time. So it's obviously a huge loss, but the Demon Deacons were doing okay without him. But the major storyline you want to watch out for is whether or not Jamie Newman, their quarterback, will be back for this bowl game. He got injured in the season finale against Syracuse. There are rumors that he could be back. At the time of this video, we do not know anything about Jamie Newman, about his status. If he is not ready to go, it's going to be Sam Hartman that will be under center for Wake Forest. And honestly, I would take Hartman or Newman over Lewerke any day of the week. Hartman has plenty of quarterback experience for the Demon Deacons, have complete and utter faith in his ability to run the offense for Dave Clawson and his squad. Either of those would be better than Brian Lewerke under center right now. They average 32.8 points per game and 473.4 yards per game. That's extremely impressive to me. Extremely impressive. And even if the quarterback issue does not go their way, even if they struggle with their passing game, they're averaging 175.7 rushing yards per game, led by their leading rusher, Cade Carney. So this Wake Forest team is extremely balanced. and have the offensive capabilities and definitely on the edge on the offensive side of the ball as they go up against the Spartans. But defense, the reason Michigan State made a bowl game last year, the reason Michigan State's back in the postseason this year is because of their defense. They've been able to overcome those offensive struggles because of how strong their defense has played. Spartans allowing just 22.7 points per game this season. That's a pretty impressive mark considering they play in the very competitive Big Ten East. Wake Forest is giving up 29.3 points per game. They've given up 35 points or more 5 times this season. That's a cause of concern, but when you really look at it, it's not that big of a concern because I can almost guarantee you that Michigan State is going to come nowhere near scoring 35 points. If they do, consider me shocked because I don't see this offense that has struggled all season long, averaging 22 points per game, to score nearly 2 touchdowns more than their season average in the final game of the season. Michigan State does allow 108.6 rushing yards per game, something to watch out for here, because if Wake Forest has Sam Hartman under center and they don't feel confident in him, which I don't know why they wouldn't, but if they try to go more run heavy, then that 108.6 rushing yards per game is really going to suit Michigan State well and be a major strength for them. So one of the keys that we have here in this game, and it all hinges on Michigan State, this is the game that for some reason the Spartans are favored in. They're favored in this game from Vegas, and when I look at it with the way they have played, that kind of caught me by surprise. Maybe it is the fear of injuries from Wake Forest, but Michigan State has not played well all season long, and our major key for them is, can Michigan State simply stop the explosiveness of Wake Forest offense? Can they do it? Because regardless of who's at quarterback, whether it's Jamie Newman or Sam Hartman, you've got a great and capable QB under center for the Demon Deacons. You've got Kendall Hinton and potentially Scotty Washington, if he is ready to go for this game, at wide receiver. So despite the loss of Sage Surratt, you've got 2 great wide receivers lining up with whoever's at quarterback. And then you've got Cade Carney, a great running back for the Demon Deacons, a very experienced running back for the Demon Deacons. So this offense as a whole is more than capable of putting points up on the board and more than capable of going up against a strong Michigan State defense. And one stat that you need to look at here is Michigan State sitting at 6-6 right now. Half of their wins, so 3 of the Spartans' wins this season, are against teams that are going bowling. So they've only beat 3 teams that are going to be playing in the postseason this year. And one of those wins, so one of those 3 wins, is against Western Michigan, a game that Michigan State annihilated as they should have. So really, the Spartans only have 2 wins over teams that are going bowling from a Power 5 conference, from the Big Ten. And to me, that's a cause of concern. They were unable to get the job done. I'm not saying they should have beat Penn State. I'm not saying they should have beat Ohio State. But they beat Indiana. That's a quality win. That's really the only great one I can think about outside of that. So that's a major cause of concern for me, from Mark D'Antonio and his Spartans coming into this game. They have been unable to beat some high-level opponents within their conference, and the ones that they did were towards the cellar and definitely are not going to be playing in the postseason. So who is going to win this game? I'm sure you figured it out by now. Our pick is Wake Forest. And I don't mean to bash Michigan State by any means. Maybe Mark D'Antonio will come out and surprise me. I'm a huge fan of his, and as I say every single year, he is a coach you cannot underestimate. He is a coach you can never take your eye off of. He's a coach that sometimes you never know what to expect, but never underestimate or count out Mark D'Antonio. But considering the circumstances, as I said, I will take Jamie Newman or Sam Hartman over Brian Lewerke any day of the week. I'll take them over him any day of the week right now. So Wake Forest, to me, owns a huge offensive edge. Their defense, not that bad at all. I know they're giving up more points than Michigan State is, but it's only a little less than a touchdown more. So not that drastic there. And once again, Michigan State does not have that big and an elite of an offense that makes me concerned for this Wake Forest defense. I predict that Dave Clawson, who has thrived in the postseason during his time with the Demon Deacons, he's won the past 3 bowl games. He makes it the past 4 bowl games. Expect it to be close because of Mark D'Antonio, because for some reason Dave Clawson likes his postseason games to be close, as we've seen in the previous 3 years. But Wake Forest wins their 4th straight bowl game and clinches a 9-win season for the first time since 2007. And once again, all the credit in the world to Dave Clawson. So guys, thank you so much for watching us here on YouTube. Make sure to like this video and check out everything we have for you in the description. The spread pick for this Pinstripe Bowl can be found over at thegridironexpert.com, as well as some other college football content and college football offers that you do not want to miss. And as always, guys, I want to thank you so much for watching. Please continue to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time on The Gridiron Expert.